I think it's very important for people with a disability to have a voice so they can be heard by the government and the other public, their side of the story, so they can be included like everyone else.
I think it's really important because then the government are getting what the voice of the people with disability wants and feel and think and so on. But it's not only a matter of being on the committee. They've also got to be serious enough to take it seriously and to listen to what we're saying and what we're trying to get across.
They need to have rights like people without disabilities so that they could be included in a meeting like people without disabilities.
Because we know what we're talking about, and I mean, if you're talking about us, why not include us?
I suppose to speak up about the issues that affect me, like public transport and having a say.
People would not listen to you. You know, it was not really like a self-advocacy group then, and the chief was not letting people have their say on their committee. You know, if they did, they'll do something, but they won't go through it.
Many times I have felt that I have not been included because there have been times where they haven't been listening to me, and that made me feel not included. And sometimes I get laughed at the face, so I feel that they don't take me seriously, which makes me feel very bad.
People treated me very badly and said that I weren't welcome, and that letted me down and made me upset. No, I didn't come back to it after that.
Why do we always have to be on the bottom of the run and bottom of the ladder? You know, why is it that we're never taken seriously? You know, I think it's about time that people with intellectual disabilities started to have a voice the same as everyone else.
I think, you know, before I had Chris as my support at the IDRG, I wasn't feeling very supported, and I, you know, most of their talk was going over my head, even though I felt like I was putting out my hand.
We come up with 20 words that we didn't understand in those meetings. There's probably a whole lot of other things that we couldn't understand. And one of the questions that I asked, or one of the words that I asked what it meant was, this professor came up to me afterwards. I said, thank you for asking that question. I got the same question, but I didn't want to ask that question because I didn't want to seem like I'm dumb, because I'm a professor, I'm supposed to know all the answers. So if they didn't know the answers, how are people like us supposed to know?
Well, one thing I know what the government will have to try and do is try and speak more plain English and less jargon. They have to learn to be slow, patient, to directly look at them in the eye, to make sure that they are focusing and talking about what they want to ask.
I'm on the Everybody's Business community group. Yeah, I feel like I'm included and that they're listening to me and the issues I have.
I've been to a NDIS meeting and felt included and listened to, and it was really good to be actually heard.
They have included me and listened to my ideas, and they give me respect.
People with disability on that panel or on that committee were listened to, and what the chairperson did was, before we moved on from agenda item 1 to agenda item number 2, what she did was she went around the whole room. I think there's about 10 of us, maybe a bit less, I can't remember the exact numbers, but she was asking everybody, do you want anything else to say about that particular issue that we just talked about? That was one of the best meetings I've ever been to.
What's important for people to know is that people with disabilities have rights like people without disabilities.
How do you treat your friends? How do you treat your colleagues? You know, just as friends and colleagues, and, you know, hi Norrie, hi, you know, whoever's come in. How are you going today? Did your team win? Did your team lose? If you don't have a team?
Always treat them equal. exactly like anyone else.
Listen to what we're trying to say. Listen to what we're asking for. And if you can't do something, then come back to us. Just like I said before, don't just flub us off and don't even bother coming back.